Hi Scorpio, welcome back to my channel, Karma Fox. I am doing your weekly reading. Hope you guys are all well. I'm going to take a quick second to remind you that this is a general reading. It may not resonate with every Scorpio out there, so guys, take what resonates for you and leave the rest for someone else. Please keep in mind that the energies can reverse. So if it is resonating, guys, get in where you fit in, even if it's on the opposite side. But as always, don't force yourself into a reading that is just not for you. Spirit, can I have the energy of the sign of Scorpio? Scorpio. Scorpio. All right, Scorpio, you're starting out with the Nine of Cups in the reverse. You have the Queen of Cups and you have Justice in the reverse. So something here with regard to love has not gone the way that you had hoped it would. It's almost like you're telling me that a wish fulfillment in love has been denied to you. There's an imbalance here. It's not, you're feeling a sense of injustice, as if somebody has not treated you in the way that you want to or wanted them to. So I do feel like you're feeling this is an unbalanced situation. It's unjust, and that you didn't get what you wanted from the situation. So let me see who's in your energy. All right, so we have the Queen of Swords in the reverse. You could be dealing with a Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. We have the Eight of Cups, and we have the Wheel of Fortune. So this person that is in your energy, I feel like this person has been a little bit difficult to deal with. They seem to be very angry. So I can see why you're feeling a sense of rejection from this person. They're not really open to talking. They've walked away from the connection or walked away from you, refusing to have an honest discussion with you. And I do feel that you're feeling like this person cut you out of their energy here. It's a very rejecting kind of energy. With the Wheel of Fortune, this person is wanting to turn things, though, into a more positive direction. So let me see the energy between Scorpio and this person. Ten of Pentacles. You might be married to this person, or you could be in a long-term connection with them. If so, they're a little bit difficult to deal with, quite honestly. I do see there is somebody that is being affected by family or close friends. And it's difficult to know which party that is. Let me see what's affecting the connection. You may have shared assets with this person. You may have built something with this person over a length of time. You could have children together. What's affecting the connection is the Four of Swords in the reverse. So this person is walking away from you. I do feel like they kind of cut you out, weren't communicating. So what's affecting the connection is that there is going to be communication. This is somebody you do love, but you don't like how they act. Let me see your outcome. There is going to be communication, though. Show me the outcome for Scorpio. Ten of Wands in the reverse. Yeah, working out the problems, releasing the problems. So that's good. That is positive. Bottom of the deck is the Empress. You could be dealing with a Taurus or a Libra, but what this is indicating to me is that you know your value, you know your self-worth. I feel like on the whole, Scorpio, you have been, seated in your power. You've been very nurturing and very kind, but you're feeling like this person's treating you unjustly. And I feel like, they're kind of very angry, walking away from the situation, but they are coming back in, it looks like, to have a communication with you. So let's clarify. Spirit, why is the Nine of Cups reversed for Scorpio? Queen of Wands, Wheel of Fortune reversed, and the Eight of Cups in the reverse. Okay, so you haven't moved on from this person, but I feel like with the Queen of Wands, I'm wondering if you're suspecting that there's someone else in this person's energy and that they're not being honest with you about it. You are hoping that they come back towards you, but something happened here. Something happened here and you're not over it. You didn't like it. It was not what you wanted. We do see this person walking away. We do see them coming back towards you. And by the way, you are showing up definitely in your Empress energy here. You have this glow up going on. You're charismatic. You're nurturing. You're kind. Like, I don't understand, because this person must be a fool not to want to, you know, keep that together. All right, let me see the Queen of Cups. I mean, your energy looks really good. Ace of Cups reversed, Four of Wands, and the Two of Wands reversed. So you love this person. Some of you, like I said, you're married to this person, or you've been in a long-term relationship. You've built assets together. You've built up something together over a period of time. But this person, even though you love them, they're draining the life out of you. They are just draining you because of the decisions that they're making. I do feel like you're considering ending this, but you still love this person. So I don't know if that's what you would do or not. There's also a sense of stability. There's shared finances, it looks like. There's a home. There's shared stability. So I feel like it would be very difficult for you to choose to move in a different direction. But some of you are contemplating it. Let me see Justice in reverse for Scorpio. We have the Hangman and the Two of Cups. Yeah, so some of you are contemplating moving in another direction and leaving this person because they're very difficult to deal with. And I feel like you're waiting. You're holding back. You're waiting to see if it can be balanced out. Right now, you're not seeing eye to eye with this person at all. So I feel like you're kind of waiting. You're asking for karmic justice in this situation. For some of you, it looks like there was a third party involved. And you're drained. You're just emotionally drained. But I feel like you're kind of holding back. You're waiting. You're asking for karmic justice. So let me see this person's energy. Show me the Queen of Swords reversed. This person can be rather spiteful when things don't go their way. Queen of Swords in the upright. We have the Seven of Wands reversed, and we have the King of Cups reversed. They have a very difficult time expressing their feelings. This is somebody who actually does love you. And like you were saying over here, Scorpio, there is a lot of love here, but the two of you are just not on the same page. It's because this person, when they feel powerless, they strike out and they do like harsh things, or they primarily say harsh things. They walk away from the connection. They don't know how to handle their emotions and feelings very well. So on one day they're open for discussion. The next day they're like, you know, very spiteful. It comes from a feeling powerless, feeling like everybody's against them. It's almost like they victimize themselves. I do see that this person does want to talk. They don't know if you're open to talking with them. And they want to have a discussion that is like just the facts, you know. You're a water sign, and they're basically saying, you know, you're emotional. I want to discuss just the facts. I want to leave the emotion out of it. We can resolve this problem. Let me see the Eight of Cups for the person in Scorpio's energy. They do want to resolve conflict between the two of you, though. Page of Swords reversed. King of Pentacles, and the Chariot. If you're thinking about moving forward from this person, they're unaware of it because they're so involved in their own world over here that And they work a lot too. They could be very, very like a workaholic. This person is totally unaware if you're trying to move forward. That will be news to them. I am seeing that they tend to avoid. They tend to, especially if there's emotions involved, they tend to avoid. But other than that, this person does appear to be someone who is, you know, they're solid. They work very hard. They're good with money. You could be dealing with an earth sign, which would be a Taurus, heavy Taurus, Virgo, or a Capricorn. This person could travel for a living as well. But I definitely feel that they're a little bit avoidant and they don't really know how to address things appropriately. Let me see the Wheel of Fortune. Show me the Wheel of Fortune for the person in Scorpio's energy. Knight of Pentacles reversed and the Nine of Swords reversed. Yeah, I feel like they feel stuck. They want things to begin moving forward and moving in a positive direction. They're tired of feeling stressed out and worrying about the problems. They may come across as not being concerned, not being worried about it, but that's just their inability to deal with their emotions. It's not the truth. They're actually very concerned. Let me see the energy between Scorpio and this person. I see Cancerian energy here as well. Leo energy. All right, we have the Sun. We have the Seven of Swords. So whoever walked away, whether it was you or whether it was them, or both of you, there was some deception involved here. You may feel that this person is trying to sneak back into your energy and you're not over whatever has taken place, but there was definitely some deception. And it looks like one of you had a third party. I do feel like it's out in the open. Whatever, at least it has the appearance of being out in the open. There is still some things that are not, though. And I know this because the Seven of Swords is in the upright. There's still deception. Whatever caused one of you to walk away, there's still something that's not out in the open. If it was this person in your energy, Scorpio, they're basically coming across like they're being very honest, very open, very transparent, but they're not. Or at least you don't feel like they are. You feel like they're coming back with, you know, still not being clear. And you're definitely not over what happened. This person is beginning to realize that they need to work this out with you. Some of you have children together, but I feel like they're realizing that they messed up here. Somebody messed up. Let me see the Four of Swords reversed. Show me what's affecting this connection. Yeah, there's your Ten of Wands. That's going to be resolved. And then the Six of Swords. So there is going to be some discussion. This person's walked off. They could have actually, you know, gone on a business trip or gone on some sort of a trip so that there was no communication for a minute. What they want to do is talk it out. They want to work this out. They want to turn the page. The problem is they may want to turn the page and kind of sweep everything under the rug. I feel like that's going to be a problem for you. I do feel like this person has drained your energy quite a bit. There's a need here for you to pour that love back into yourself. And I do feel like, whatever they come towards you saying, it's problematic for you. It's almost like they dipped out and just left you holding the bag. And I feel like you have been extremely overwhelmed and drained. And then they come back in, they want to talk about it, and they want to, you know, bring peace to the situation and resolve these problems. So that leaves you with a choice to make. Let me see the outcome. Show me the outcome for Scorpio. show me the outcome for Scorpio. Page of Cups, Nine of Wands reversed, and the Knight of Swords. So this person's going to come clean. They are. During this discussion, they're going to come clean. They want to resolve all the problems. You want to resolve the problems. I do feel that they're going to apologize. You're going to apologize for any part that you had in it. I do feel like for some of you, you're holding this together because of a child. I'm definitely seeing for somebody there's a child or children involved. But regardless, I see both of you trying to resolve the problems here. And I do see them resolving. I see a lot of growth coming from that. But I also have to be honest that I see that it's going to leave this feeling for you, Scorpio, that you don't trust them. Neither of you trust one another. So it's eroded the trust in the relationship a little bit as well. I will say this person is coming towards you. They want to resolve the problem. They do see you as happiness. They're coming forward in a very truthful yet harsh manner. But keep in mind, they don't do well with feelings and emotions. This is somebody that has a very difficult time processing their own emotions, especially what would be considered negative or shadow emotions. And so I feel like if they can't process their own emotions, it's difficult for them to process any kind of emotion with you as well. So they're going to come forward. It's going to be a little harsh, you know. You have a gentler approach. Part of that is being a water sign. And you do feel put off by this person, but you've been waiting for them to reach out. I do think that it's taken a while. I feel like provided there's an apology or changed behavior, I feel like you're invested in resolving the problems as well. So bottom of the deck is the Eight of Pentacles reversed. This is underlying energy, and it does indicate to me that, you know, you don't feel like it's your responsibility to put the work into this. I'm really getting the strong impression, Scorpio, that you feel that this person has done something that was not on the up and up. They're not wanting to take full accountability for it. They're trying to run from the situation, realize that they can't. They come back in, but you're not chasing after them. You're not putting in the effort because you're like, look, I know my value. I know my self-worth. And I'm just, you know, I think you owe me an apology. And I think you're going to get it too, but it might take a second. So, all right. I'm going to pull for an oracle card for Scorpio. I'm pulling from the Heal Yourself reading cards. A lot of times you guys ask about them. You have number 4, and this card is sexuality. So there could have been something with regard to sexuality that caused this big conflict. I'm going to read this for you. It says, sexuality is a natural part of life. Embrace and enjoy your intimate, sensual, passionate nature. Take time to explore your sexuality. How do you feel about yourself? Do you feel sexy, attractive, and happy with your body, or are you judging yourself harshly? You need to let go of any old feelings of hurt, shame, or guilt in relation to your sexuality. If you're in a relationship, you need to bring some romance back and spice things up. In order to make sex an incredibly fulfilling, seductive, exhilarating, and orgasmic experience, you need to let go of your defenses and fears of being intimate with your partner. Relinquish control and dive into unguarded, ecstatic, and blissful passion. Be creative, communicate with your lover, and find new and exciting ways to thrill each other. So that could be part of this resolving the problems, and yet there's a lack of trust here. That could be part of that. It could have affected your intimate life as well. All right, I hope that this has been helpful for you, Scorpio. If you've resonated with this reading, hit that like button. Be sure to subscribe to my channel. Hype the video if you get the opportunity. And until I see you in your next reading, Scorpio, know that you are love, and namaste.